My Scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for day 18 multi-photo for Scraptember. I feel like most of my layouts are multi-photo in that nearly all of them have more than one photo on them. This particular layout, I have of course gone with a grid design because it is so simple and it definitely leads itself to multi-photo layouts, multi-photo spreads. I have got no words today. I am using the Vicky Booten Fernwood collection because that's pretty much where we are. We're walking in a fernwood. And that's not what we call it here in Australia, but it's essentially the same thing. So I have cut up the cut-apart sheet because there are a few bits and pieces on the cut-apart sheet that I wanted to use. Fussy cut out that little bird, for example, that you can see there. I will definitely be covering that hole. And I had originally planned to make my grid using the other side of this paper, which is the cut-apart sheet, because there's so many cute things on there. There was a dragonfly and a butterfly and all sorts of things. But I actually couldn't make it work. It was so busy. There was too much going on. I really love that pre-made Vicky Booten paper that I'm using in the background. I kind of had my heart set on using that. But then once I added so many other things, it just went a little crazy. So I decided to sacrifice the cut-apart sheet and use this navy blue side. It is beautiful. It is such a nice color. So rich and gorgeous. It's almost, lovely. And I decided to roll with that. And besides, it had the textures and things on it because of the mixed media that Vicky Booten does. It had that look of paintbrush lines and all of that. So I decided to roll with this side instead. So I have laid out my grid, as you can see here. And this is sort of the base of what I'm going to build upon for my layout. So I have, I'm going to start by putting the date on the back, of course. And I have approximately 4 photos, I think, for this layout. I did have 5, but when I cut them down to be small enough to fit inside those squares, which I think is about, maybe about 3 by 3, I'm not 100% sure. It lost too much of the integrity of the photo and you couldn't really tell what the last photo was, so I ended up not using it. But I cut the photos down, I matted them on white paper, and then I matted them on black paper, and they are going to sit in a few of those grids, and then the other grids I'm going to use to embellish. So you could absolutely include as many or as little photos as you wanted on this particular page, with the exception of you only have 9 squares. So originally I was going to be lazy and just stick everything flat on the page because I don't know why. I think I'd got to that stage of scrapbooking where I just wanted to get it on and I didn't want to play with sticking things up on foam, and it just kind of drags out the process sometimes. But as soon as I stuck that super cute terrarium down on the page, I was like, no, it needs to be on foam. So I'm going back to using the foam, of course. It just adds that pop of dimension. It makes such a difference. You do need it, says I. So just popping all of those on those bottom 2 squares there where I'm putting the floral. That's going to be where my title goes. I pulled out a Heidi Swap title for this one. I'm definitely in my element of using pre-made titles, like the ones that are phrases, because I'm lazy. And I feel like phrases make it so much easier than trying to dig through my thickers and do I have enough with the letters that I need, and that one's run out of E's. And I just get so frustrated and I can't be bothered. So then I'm definitely just making the phrases fit where I can at the moment. But this one worked really well. It's called Our Adventure, and that's what we were doing. We took the boys to a place they hadn't been before, and we went wandering through the forest on a little loop, which was super fun. We didn't want to go too far because we knew the boys would kind of run out of puff, but it was probably a good 2-3K walk, which was awesome. They had a lot of fun looking around and touching all the things and walking with big sticks and, all the fun stuff that you do when you're wandering through the forest. So you can see now that the layout is definitely coming together. What started off as a bit of a very busy and a bit of a crazy mishmash of things has relatively quickly transformed into a nice, simple, fun, I don't think it's simple, but fun grid layout. I just used a mixture of the cut apart sheet, the ephemera, and the sticker sheet. I've got the whole works here from the Vicky Booten collection, and it was super fun. I just find that grid layouts are definitely one of the easier ways of creating multiple photos onto a layout. Now, don't forget, I'm sure you know by now, if you've been following along with our Scraptember series, that we have got a playlist. And the beauty of the playlist is it has got anyone who makes a video and chooses to upload it to the playlist. So there is not just the layouts created by Katie and I. There are all the layouts created by the other amazing creators that are part of this community, sharing their layouts and how they adapted the prompt for them as well. So I hope you are enjoying these videos, and I cannot wait to see you again soon.